Must be nice.
I can make babies.
So luckily, Aho, they were pretty philosophical about being bumped.
Thank you. You're welcome. Don't forget to put my name on those. Don't put your own name on them. When's the drive? Planner's Day, huh?
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, the majority of the
I'll just take
discussion, the
$5,000. I know who I am.
conversation, hopefully will occur this week.
Do you see all these tickets I bought last night? Look at all these I bought.
Philosophical questions. Does the city want to go
I tell you what.
multi-family?
Just $2 ticket. Well, no,
That'll
this
occur
was.
this week.
Hey folks, we're live on test.
Oh, we're live? All right.
Well, if we want to have room for single-family residential, awful with some of that.
I just bought them.
Right? Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. And I think ultimately the question is going to be, do they want it all or part of it? Because I think one, the planning commission, members could always say, well, you know what, I think the dominant property makes sense, and give them part of what they want. See what Aho does. They say no, but once you sit around the road boundary, it doesn't have to be Aho.
Hi, how are you doing?
So we had a meeting down at Department of Transportation. 360 here, Elaine's comment. I did not.
I have most of them.
And I basically,
I
basically laid out there, this is how much land we have and our rates of and basically, by the end of the conversation, and when I was done my presentation and talking about it, Elaine goes, okay, I feel much better about where we were than where I was this morning, because I was totally stressing about this.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
I can talk, but not to write.
So she said she was much
Hey ladies,
her staff basically didn't say a thing the entire meeting. Elaine was pretty much only. And the exception was probably the public works engineer. They said, oh, what did you just like?
M-A-R-I.
Susan Eugenis. Yes. And she basically said, oh, when you guys are doing all of this stuff, keep me in the loop. I want you to be involved.
80.
Which is perfectly fine. And so we're all on the same page. The authority to extend the and they have to basically wait while this process runs its course so that they know
And you are, what are your names?
Alrighty, thank you.
Jade.
And you just want me to tell you, it doesn't matter what movie you're in, you can tell me right the movie name, it doesn't matter the date. Right? No, it's just the name. Alright, got it. Thank you. You're welcome.
And I forgot her name already.
So, but I told you.
I wonder if you'd be interested in buying some Woodland photographer tickets today.
How are we doing tonight?
They're only $1.
Welcome. Come on in.
Okay.
Sir, how are you? Good. How you doing? Good. Good to see you. Kristopher, I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Good.
Nothing's coming out yet.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, I'm checking every morning. I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for
The guys look beautiful.
Yes.
By the way.
I'm waiting. Chief Coleman. We're gonna need one thing.
So you give me half the cheese. Okay,
they're bump stocks. So basically what it does, it takes a rifle and it turns into a machine. So it's got a coil inside, so when it's firing itself.
Carl, but you're saying people have to turn them in?
They don't have to turn them in, but they can't have them.
Oh, they're illegal.
They're going to be as of 26. Oh, yeah.
So are they still illegal if you buy the head transport internally?
But now let me ask you this, can you own one and not have it attached to a rifle until the event?
yeah.
But what if it's
You
exactly?
know, to me, the comments you send me, it's just kind of normal planning stuff.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Buy them online. You can buy them online for $79 and run and get them shipped here and turn it in for $150.
Great idea.
So we had this conversation.
I would want to do
Yes, but they're willing to. Yes, exactly. Well, and I pointed out that
There she is.
What it says to me.
The other two wanted to sell me half the ticket. You sell me half the ticket.
They're saying you shouldn't be doing this because even the counties against it, even the DOTs against it. She's all like, but that's not what we said. And I said, that's right. But you were not the first citizens.
Yes. 360 903 8027.
And she was like, yeah, because that's the impression that's happening. So she understands this is coming, and she's kind of
So yeah.
worried about this letter coming out.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this report comes out.
So we're getting ready.
So I told her, okay, the reporters at Woodland, proactive control has
That's right.
My wife doesn't know.
So hopefully,
If it does, I'll give you $1,000 for that.
Not as long. Not as long. It's probably, but it's doable.
it's funny because one of the things that
Yeah, and that's like, God, my dad, that's what he says,
he wants to have meetings with the electric.
yeah, it is, it is. And my dad said, here, I want to read points too. You know how So I had it and it went.
Hi.
I mean, only my head back down, I wish I
Thank
could
you.
go
So I
back.
guess
It
it's
was
a good
so
time to reset.
loud. And I want you to know what it's like. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah.
I didn't bring any money with me. Listen, I forgot my kids. I forgot my cash tonight. But the chief has money. He makes tons of money.
I didn't offer to go.
Next time. I promise. No. I know. Everybody calm down. Oh, it's time. Oh my gosh, we're late. Sorry, everybody. They're running around and talking. Keep pulling in and
Yeah, to me it's not all that productive.
It goes long. It goes long. It goes long.
Participate.
All right. Miss Ripp, give me the go-ahead when you're ready. No, Mrs. Ripp, sorry.
I am ready.
I'm just a mess tonight. Where's Mrs. Rounds?
She wouldn't be here tonight.
Did she call ahead?
That's why I gotta be.
Oh, we're good. Oh, we're on. Here we go. All right, it's 7:03. Monday, March 18, 2019. Regular meeting for the City Council for the City of Woodland, Washington. If I can get everyone to please silence your cell phones and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Ripp, will you please take the roll?
Councilmember Fredericks.
Here.
Councilmember Plaza.
Here.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Chapman.
Here.
Councilmember Benjamin.
Here.
Councilmember Humbert.
Here.
Councilmember Rounds.
Councilmember Rounds has called in this evening. Chair accept a motion to excuse Councilmember Rounds.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Humberg, seconded by Councilmember Chapman. Will clerk please take the vote?
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert.
Aye.
Councilmember Benjamin.
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza.
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks.
Aye.
All right, Councilmember Rounds has been excused. We have a special treat this evening. We have our Planters Day princesses with us this evening. And I'm going to call you up one by one to the podium, introduce yourself, and give us a little bit about who you are and why you're a princess. If I can get Jade Nosler. Yes. Did I get it right? No? Oh, gosh, nailed it. All right. Yes, absolutely. No, call up for pictures.
Hello, my name is Princess Jade. I am the daughter of Nicole Pearson and Luke Nosler. I do college in the classes. I go to Skills Center and I'm training to be a CNA nurse. I am in track, and on the weekends I do clinicals at the Woodland Nursing Home. And I am working at Louisville Cultural Center. And after high school, I would like to go to college to be a psychiatrist.
Well, thank you very much. Miss Alice Baxter.
Hello, I am Princess Alice. I am the daughter of Noah and Acacia Baxter. Currently, I'm a junior at the Woodland High School, and I'm taking college classes. Outside of school, I am a swim instructor, and I plan on going to college for a psychology degree.
All right, thank you very much. Miss Nayley Lopez. Did I get it right? Nayla. Wait, did I get it wrong again? Gosh. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Princess Nayeli, daughter of Luis and Amanda. I'm into new students and help Miss Gonzalez, my favorite teacher. And after high school, I want to go to college and study for a BA police officer.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Welcome. I can get you. She wasn't on my list. Oh, yes, she is. Miss Sammi Ripp. Gosh, she was. I just didn't go up the line. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Miss Sammi Ripp, Miss Woodland. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Miss Woodland 2018, Sammi Ripp, the daughter of Shane and Jenny Ripp. I am involved in the college in the classroom, and I am also going to Skill Center to get my CNA, and I do, geez, this is harder than I thought it was going to be for myself. I do rodeo, wasset, stuff with my horses, and after high school, I plan to go to college to be an RN for Kaiser in their trauma department.
Fantastic. All right. All right, get your camera out, Miss Woodland. All right, ladies. You need help talking about yourself. Just hang out. Yeah, just hang out with me for a moment.
Show your pearly whites.
All right, here we go. We're good? All right, thank you very much. Welcome this evening. Thank you. It's a beautiful night in the city of Woodland, isn't it?
It is.
And we have a very special presentation for you this evening, Mr. Kristopher Moore. I can get you to come on up for me, please. Did you bring anybody with you tonight?
No, sir.
No?
She was working.
Okay. Where's our, where's your badge? You have it? Who's? Hey! I'm standing, don't embarrass me, I'm standing up here. Gosh. All right. Before we do that, I'm going to have you stand right there. Just stand right there next to him here. I'm going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. But wait, before we start, Mr. Moore is our newest police officer here in the city of Woodland. So thank you, yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me and repeat after me. I, Kristopher Moore,
I, Kristopher Moore,
do solemnly swear and
do
affirm
solemnly swear and affirm
I will support
I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Washington,
of the State of Washington,
and the laws of the City of Woodland,
and the laws of the City of Woodland,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police officer
of police officer
for the City of Woodland,
for the City of Woodland,
according to law,
according to law,
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, welcome aboard. We're absolutely thrilled to have you here. Why don't you get the rest of the guys up here and Chief, come on.
Good idea.
Officer Casey, Officer Kelly. I don't think it's a choice. It's a direct order.
You got a uniform on, you get
This is how we get you in there.
Who's tallest?
There we go. Awesome. Nice job. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, guys.
I'm a little disappointed tonight. There's nobody. Our friends that said they were coming didn't show up. All right, moving on. Citizen communications for items not on the agenda. I have no one that signed up. If you failed to do so at the door, now's your opportunity to step forward to speak on items not on the agenda. Seeing no one, moving on to items on the agenda. I have no one signed up. If you failed to do so at the door, now's your opportunity to step forward to speak on items on the agenda. All right, moving on. Yeah, I guess so. Chair, accept a motion for, we've come to the portion of the agenda for approval.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Hungbert and seconded by Councilmember Chapman. Will the clerk please take the vote?
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert?
Aye.
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza?
Aye.
Did we get everybody? Oh, I've miscounted. Okay.
Six.
That's 6 today. All right. Moving on to reports of City Council. Mrs. Graham.
Oh, just really short and quick. I attended the 50 for 20 scholarship benefit the other night, last Thursday night. The Saturday before that, it was the Windy Hills Rotary Club event for the fundraising for the sports park. And then last Tuesday evening, attended the Building Bridges Tourism Expo in Longview. And that's it.
All right.
Thank you for attending the 50 for 20.
Gosh, I forgot all about it, to be honest
I
with
was
you.
unable to attend, and I would have liked to have joined.
And I bought tickets and forgot to go.
Can you tell me what 50 for 20 is?
It was put on by the school, and they want to raise $50,000 to be able to give $2,500 scholarships. Is that correctly said?
Okay. Scholarship.
So, yeah.
We're supposed to buy tickets from you, I think.
Yes.
Is that you? No. Miss
And
Watt.
they had their culinary department catered the dinner, and there was an auction, and it was fun. And we had music, so it was good.
All right. Was there raffle prizes?
Yes.
Did you win?
No.
Oh, rats.
It was silent auction.
Oh, silent auction. And you didn't win anything?
I tried.
Okay. All right. I'm shocked. You
Gotta
losing-
be at first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're losing your luck there. Yeah. Mr. Fredericks?
Just wanted to point out, after our last meeting, or there was some discussion during our last city council meeting about where the grant dollars came from the port that the city council approved. Those grant dollars are excess dollars that have come from excess dollars collected in their lease agreements. Now, so that is where the actual grant dollars have come from. Now, one could argue that, well, the property that those are leased on were paid by taxpayers, and so it's a kind of a rebate back to that program. So, but I wanted to make sure that it was clear that the dollars that were approved were from those lease agreements, the excess revenue collected from those lease agreements, and not a reallocation of tax dollars from the port. So I just wanted to get that on the record to clear that up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fredericks. Created quite a stir, but it happens. It's Mr. Fredericks. Anyone else for reports of City Council? I've got the giggles tonight. I'm sorry.
Why do you have the giggles?
I don't know. I had them last week too, or 2 weeks ago.
Well, I attended the
Go ahead.
CEDC meeting
CEDS meeting, committee meeting.
Yes.
And we're working on a revolving loan for the cities, which I will sit on that committee as well, and our meeting is next week.
Revolving loan to do what?
A revolving loan that we can offer to businesses to help them get started.
Oh, okay.
I'll know more exactly how it works after, but this is something that the COG has done for the city of Longview and has worked really well. They've only had one business that was able to pay back. The rest of them have all been able to become bigger, to grow. So
Good.
it was there was a lot of other things, but that was the most interesting. I think that's probably affects Woodland the most.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Benjamin, welcome back. Glad to see you're feeling better. All right, seeing no one. I thought you were asking.
No.
All right, moving on to reports of standing committees, Finance and General Government. Mr. Fredericks.
That would be me. I unfortunately was unable to attend. I was traveling back from vacation and happened to be on a 737 MAX 8 plane for my flight, and my flight was canceled. So I got to enjoy a very short trip turned into an all-day adventure with my luggage arriving 7 hours after we did, which was always good. But I wasn't there, so I don't know if Mr. Chapman
Mr. Chapman.
can provide us a report. That would be most excellent.
Yes.
We're also thrilled you made it back.
Me and Councilmember Rounds and Mr. Boyce were at the meeting. Motion was moved by me, seconded by Mr. Rounds. December 2018 reports are pending. The January 2019 reports are pending. The utility FCS group's timeline to start study. Mr. Boyce indicated that the utility rate study has a kickoff meeting scheduled for all day on March 15th. That's still the timeline, Pete, on that? Still
Yep.
fit for 15th. Okay.
It occurred on Friday?
Yes. Yeah, on Friday, yes. So, and then status on the WPOA, Mr. Boyce updated us on negotiations. They are going to arbitration. The new WPO attorney, due to the one retiring, they got a replacement, so now we'll get the ball rolling again on that one. There is 2 ULPs pending. Teamsters negotiation update, the clerical city administrator, Mr. Boyce, indicated the parties are still trying to schedule a date to meet. And for the latest, we still haven't got a date for them, so we still haven't got a date on the meeting yet. New business, the RFP Indigent Attorney Services proposal was due 3/22. It should be to the Finance Committee by 4/8, and then we should get it to City Council by 4/15 to start, so the individual can start on 5/1. All business, policy, special events, special use permits, street closures, block parties, City Administrator Boyce indicated they are meeting scheduled for March 22nd to review the ordinance. Once staff will complete it, it will be forwarded to Finance Committee. Ordinance 1211, Finance Policies, is pending work and update, and hopefully we'll have it done by early 2019. CCFR annexation, city financial analysis is under development right now as we speak. Tourist promotion area, staff is considering action plan. And then we discussed a little bit on the parking lot agenda, which was impact fees. And then we adjourned at 6:10. Questions?
Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Appreciate it. Moving on to reports of advisory committees. I believe Ms. Graham was volunteered as our spokesperson for Chamber. Mrs. Graham.
Well, I am very happy to announce that the Chamber has made a decision on our new sign at the Information Center.
Wow.
As we speak, it is being built.
All right.
Super, super excited. It's going to be very lovely, and it's going to make quite an impression as a nice entrance to our city at that particular corner. And hopefully then we'll have a nice reader board going across this so that people can put up their events, times, dates, et cetera, and so on. So we're excited about that. Legislative phone calls are still Tuesday mornings. We meet at 7. They call in at 7:30 at the Information Center. And I believe this week Richard D. Bolt will be our person in charge of calling. And as I stated before, the Chamber also had a table at the Building Bridges Expo, Tourism Expo, last Tuesday evening, and there was a lot of talk, and I know I've talked with different people, and I talked with different people about, there was a nice travel agency there that says, well, I bet you we could find you an office here if you really want to try. So I know JJ was out putting out information and everything, and we met the people from the Red Canoe that's coming in also.
Awesome.
And then we have an after hours coming up on April 25th down at Holland America Bulb Farm, and that is also someplace where any business or small company, whatever, can come in and set up a table to show off their wares and whatever if they are not able to do it. And after hours all on their own. So I hope everybody comes to that and enjoys it. It's always a nice event. And then our golf tournament, the Chamber Golf Tournament, is coming up on August the 9th, and we would love to have teams, raffle prizes, sponsors, or swag for the bags. So mark your date.
What's the number for swag bags? Is it 75,
I think we
100?
usually 125.
125.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So that's about it. Any other information on any other items we discussed before? We have a board meeting tomorrow, so we'll see how that all goes.
Okay. Questions for Mrs. Graham in Chambers? How did Tuesday go? Tuesday went well?
Last Tuesday? At our
Yes.
chamber meeting?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it did.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we have for that. All right. Reports of officers. Earlier this week, late last week, I sent a letter off to Cowlitz County regarding their new ATV policy or law change, rule change, by allowing ATVs on the roadway to be licensed. I'm opposed to this after speaking with the chief and seeing some other information that's come from the other small cities within the county, and I sent a letter asking them to reconsider moving forward with that policy change. And with that said, this evening you have an action item. Council has an action item. Action item H is in Henry, letter to Cowlitz County regarding proposed ATV ordinance. That letter is also to show them how serious we are in the city of Woodland, and asking council to sign off on that letter to send that up to Cowlitz County, advising them not to move forward with that change. Other councils within the county have also done similar type correspondence. Comp plan map amendment timeline is on your, are you able to pull that up on the screen there? Mr. Goddard and the team and myself and Mr. Boyce got together and came up with a timeline for the comprehensive plan. With that said, applications are still over at the Planning Commission level, and we are hoping that we can get them over to council for a town hall style meeting, a special meeting on April 22nd, and that will be an opportunity for council to hear from the public after a presentation from Mr. Goddard that evening. This is above and beyond what's being asked of us by law. The public hearings are taking place at the Planning Commission level, and I have asked that we held one as well for council, just so everyone has had an opportunity to step forward and give their thoughts and opinions on that. With that said, is another special meeting on April 29th. And then also on May 6th, here in Chambers, a work session for council to actually go into the actual scenarios and talk about them and ask Mr. Goddard to make changes or ask questions and learn even more. So we have lots of opportunity for council to participate in this process and to ask lots of questions. So there is your calendar. I hope that everyone is able to join us. We were trying to get it done by the end of April, but the timeline was just a little too tight, so we were able to, Mr. Goddard was able to go through and we came up with this timeline here into May.
question on the letter?
Fire
Just,
away.
the letter hasn't been sent yet. I see there's 2 letters here. One that's in the front part of the.
One's from me.
So the mayor's letter has been sent, the city
Got it.
council
So you-
letter is.
Got it, understood.
Council
Okay,
approval.
sorry.
separate letters.
Yeah, 2 separate
Okay,
letters.
got it.
Yeah, one's for you just because of our meeting schedules, and so I went ahead and
Makes
sent my
sense.
own. Questions on the timeline? Thoughts or concerns about not being able to attend?
And I'm assuming there's a subject to change that's not listed on there?
Possible, but we're going to try really hard to stick to this. Mr. Goddard is nodding his head. Yes.
Do we have oh, I see, never mind.
And a couple of these meetings will be taking place over at the middle school auditorium, just due to the fact that we more than likely are going to have a number of folks that are going to step up, hopefully, to give us their thoughts and opinions. But we're still working on the logistics of that, but that's where those meetings will be taking place.
So, okay, I see. So we're not taking action at the middle school. That's just an opportunity for us to listen. We'll be taking action at a later date. Okay.
Correct. May 6th. I'll let you work that out.
Okay.
All right. I also attended the Windy Hills event. It was a beautiful event. More people there this year than there was last year in support of the Scott Hill Park and Sports Complex. Mr. Boyce was there. Trying to think who else. Who else was there? Did I say? I can't remember who I sat with. I sat with Mr. Boyce.
Terry Richards, Pam Young.
Yes, wonderful people.
At our table, yeah.
The music was great. It was a beautiful event. So thank you, Mrs. Graham and the park committee. I believe Ms. Boisher is still a member of that, correct? Yes. Soccer has begun over at the high school, so expect some games about 3 nights a week. And baseball has also started over at the high school, so very excited about that. And I think track is on its way, so I encourage everyone to get out and attend some events if they're able to. Questions on the timeline, Mr. Fredericks?
How'd you know I was gonna?
I just wild guess.
I just want to. This is great.
Tell by the look on your face.
I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, you've got it all dialed in here, and it's exactly what it's structure. Thank you for creating structure. Looks good.
7 of the 8 staff reports are currently available on the city's website. So if you want to get a head start on those dates, you can read what the planning commission is reading.
Should I print off? Should I get a ream of paper? Like, is it a lot? Thousands and thousands and thousands of papers?
No, hundreds.
Hundreds.
I think Mr. Randolph stated that it was appropriate for council to watch the YouTube videos of the past meetings so they can get caught up. And there's
Absolutely.
no.
This is a legislative function. You're
Yeah,
encouraged
just making sure
to
that-
get whatever information you can. You're encouraged to discuss it with citizens. This is not appearance of fairness doctrine. So this is you acting as city council members.
Absolutely. Speaking of the comp plan and speaking with citizens, I've been making my rounds and getting phone calls as well. I expect a newspaper article in the Columbian to be coming out within days here, so expect that. And also some exciting news. We did have one applicant for our AWC scholarship, and that was with Planters Day Princess Hannah Landrigan. Actually applied for the scholarship, and the city submitted her as a city representative for that scholarship. So she put a beautiful packet together, wrote a letter of support, and that has been mailed off. Thank you to the clerk's office for assisting with that. It was a last-minute add to the day, so I think we were aware of the actual rules. So, but I'm glad that we got that off, and fingers crossed for Ms. Landrigan. It'll be one of 6 applicants will be awarded a scholarship. So across the state, every city gets one person to put in. So Ms. Landrigan stepped forward for us. I think that's it. Questions for me? Mr. Chapman.
Since I'm doing a shout out and stuff for the high schools and stuff.
Yes.
Girls golf kicked off.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. And those are always fun to go and watch. You can. I think they give you a cart for free up there, the parents, to go and.
No. I won last Friday. I walked behind them. We had this kind of a kickoff scramble with.
Oh, and Mr.
Michael.
Benjamin, are you still coaching?
Yeah. Let me see.
All right.
Kalama, Washougal, Woodland, and Tommy River.
Oh, okay.
Richfield.
How'd we do?
We did okay.
Glad to hear it.
Is it plum? Two of the girls can just smoke the ball out of the box.
A couple of them from
Columbia River, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the girls who won for Kingsway.
Yeah, the girls won from Kingsway.
Gotcha. Well, we did that last year. When we didn't sign up this year, so I'm a little disappointed, but it was fun last year. It was a good time. It was a good time. All right. Moving on. Consent items.
I'd like to pull E. Motion to approve consent items A, B, C, and D.
Second.
Move to approve all consent items with the exception of E as in Edward by Mr. Fredericks and seconded by Councilmember Humbert. Will the clerk please take the vote?
Councilmember Plaza?
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
All right, moving on to consent item E, Associate Planner Employment Contract.
Move to adopt ordinance number 1391, the Associate Planner contract pending legal review.
Second.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, yes.
Actually, you're not adopting ordinance 1391. You're adopting
the contract.
The ordinance is in attachment.
What he said. That's what
Got
I want
it.
to do.
All right. Motion on the floor by Mr. Fredericks and seconded by Councilmember Humbert to approve Associate Planner Employment Contract after legal review. Mr. Fredericks.
We reviewed this at the HR committee meeting this evening. There is some additional language that needs to be reviewed by some attorney.
By Nicole Tideman, who is our employment lawyer.
By Ms. Nicole Tideman, who will review that and provide a recommendation. This would adopt the measure. Any legal stuff that needs to go on behind the scenes, we would be agreeing to without seeing it, I guess is what we're doing here.
Councilmember Humbert.
I agree.
Further discussion? All right, will the clerk please take the vote on consent item E?
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert?
Aye.
All right, action or consent item E has passed.
Mayor?
Yes.
I don't mean to go backwards, but I didn't realize tonight was a limited review. Is it possible to ask Mr. Goddard a question?
Oh, yes, and I skipped over Mr. Boyce. And I'm just trying to blow right through this meeting, apparently.
I really did feel like this was moving along way faster than it should be.
Well, as I'm looking back, I missed an entire page. Mr. Boyce, you are important to us.
Thank you.
So what are you asking for? You're asking for a review for Mr. Goddard?
Mr. Goddard, I saw the email today regarding the Woodland School District Capital Facilities Plan. Is that something that we need to be aware of other than, hey, FYI, or is there something that impacts things, would impact something that we're talking about?
So it is an FYI because they're working on their own timeline. It is not associated with the comprehensive plan update, but decisions that you make in the update process will affect the school's capacity and capital decisions. So
Got that.
ultimately, if they're planning for one elementary school and they need to build two, the sooner they can find that information out from us,
So
better off. Or the other way around. They don't.
Presumably, a lot of what whatever we do here will determine the impact to that will have on the capital facilities plan.
Yes.
However,
And the school district superintendent has been participating in the process.
okay, and is the school district on the same timeline that we are? Because I understand that they're going to be reviewing this on the 8th of April. Does it matter for them? It would seem to me that they wouldn't want to approve something before the city's taken action on the recent applications that are in front of us.
I will talk to the school district about that. They are aware of our timeline, and they may not feel that they need to wait.
Okay. Thank you.
How often does the school board meet?
Monthly, I believe.
Just once a month? Twice a month?
Twice a month.
Mrs. Boisher, could you give us the timeline for your meetings? Opposite Mondays. Okay, so the second and fourth Monday of the month. Okay. All right. Anything else? Questions, comments, concerns?
No, thank you for taking
Okay.
the question.
Mr. Boyce, sorry.
All right, thank you.
I'm on one tonight.
All right, we received a letter from the Association of Washington Cities, and they're accepting applications for open positions on the AWC Board of Directors. So if anyone is interested in being one of the nominees, we need to get to them by March 29th at 5 p.m.
Mr. Boyce, is this in regards to the fact that this is a second request? Has no one applied through District 5, or is this different from the one we brought up at the last meeting?
It's the same one. I'm not sure if they're having trouble getting nominations or not, but usually they don't send out 2 notices.
Yeah. Well, normally, I think it was Richfield that had somebody for a long period of time. Is there anything on here?
So we
Oh,
gave
they're
a
on there.
copy of each county.
Okay. And again, I think Mr. Fredericks brought up at the last meeting when we discussed this that there is travel involved, and that's not reimbursed. Is that? But I encourage those that want to apply to do your own research on that. Okay. Next question.
Okay. I also wanted to mention we're still advertising for the Planning Commission, the vacancy number 2. I don't know when that closes. Do you know?
Closed last Friday,
Oh.
but we can extend it.
Okay, so we're still accepting applications?
Yes.
The rate study kickoff meeting did happen Friday. Public Works Director Coleman was there along with her engineering aide and operations superintendent for a short time, myself and Shannon Thomas with utility billing. We met with the consultants, and we'll be preparing a lot of reports and data for the consultants to go through. It's an all-encompassing utility rate study. We'll be looking at everything from capital projects related to water and sewer, stormwater. We'll be looking at rate structures. We'll be looking at whether or not stormwater utility should be a consideration for the city or not. So there's a whole lot of work to come, and the initial meeting was a good one. So we'll be producing data and getting that to the consultants. Mr. Fredericks?
Thank you. Are there policy decisions that drive the inputs that you'll be providing to this group? Because in my mind, there was some policy decisions that were changed drastically from the last time we did this, where certain businesses ended up having to pay more. Residential started, or actually, some businesses actually paid less. More of the burden was moved onto the residential side. Those, to me, are policy decisions, and at what point do those become options that these folks are looking at?
All right, and we talked about process at that meeting, and we will be coming to the Finance Committee and City Council for some of those policy-type decisions with options for councilors to look at. So,
okay,
that is coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The rest is just the list of events. March 20th, Park Board meeting, 4 p.m. this room. March 21st, Planning Commission at 7 p.m. again in this room. April 20th, the Easter egg hunt at Horseshoe Lake Park happens. April 28th, the Get Bold Triathlon at Horseshoe Lake Park. May 22nd, AWC webinar series, Public Sector Resource Management. May 27th, Rotary Culpeper Circus at Horseshoe Lake Park. May 27th, VFW Memorial Day service. May 31st and June 1st, the Moose Lodge is holding a fishing derby at Horseshoe Lake Park. Planners Days happens June 13th through the 16th. June 25th through the 28th, AWC's annual conference in Spokane. is happening. August 3rd and August 4th, Y Racing Triathlon at Horseshoe Lake Park. So Horseshoe Lake is going to be busy for a little while here.
Yes, it is.
That's all I have right now.
All right. I think we should probably add June 28th is the Rotary Golf Tournament.
Nope.
Just throw that out there because I believe the chief has asked me to join his team, and I'm graciously accepting in a public meeting, so you can't kick me off. Looks like I am now a member of your golf team. You're welcome.
Okay.
Perfect. I moved my vacation for you. You can thank me later. And then there is an action item, since we did go back, there is an action item F this evening for the Exit 21 study and surrounding area for traffic flow. The meeting that was held with DOT last week, was that in regards to this action item?
Well, it dealt with it partially, but it was more centered around comp plan.
Okay, gotcha. Is there anything that council should know about this contract or anything moving forward with this?
For Exit 21?
For Exit 21.
If it doesn't get approved, we lose the funds.
Okay, and how much funding is there?
920,000, but not all of that will be used.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's available to us, but
It's
not
available
all of
to us.
it will be used for that traffic study.
And the 600,000 that's coming from the
That's-
COG.
That's part, 600,000 for the COG would be used towards engineering next year based on what was chosen from the Exit 21 study.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. That's in addition to the 900, correct?
Yes.
Okay, making sure. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so moving on to action items. Action item F, authorize mayor to sign contract with, I'm sorry, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Boyce? I cut him off again. I don't know why, I'm after you tonight, apparently. All right, moving on to action item F, authorize mayor to sign contract with Kittleson and Associates to study Exit 21 and surrounding area for traffic flow.
Move to approve is presented.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Humberg, seconded by Councilmember Plaza. Councilmember Humberg.
As she stated, we'll lose this money if we don't get this going on and get it done. And it's an issue getting traffic in and out of Woodland safely, so we need to fix it.
Councilmember Plaza.
Yeah, basically the same thing. People have been complaining for years about traffic in that area, and it's about time something gets done with it. And if we've got to have a study in order to get the ball rolling, then we need to have a study.
All right. Further discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Fredericks.
Any reason why this did not go to the Public Works Committee? I see it went through email, but they didn't actually meet on it. The only reason I ask is because this is the second time that we've had issue, at least I've had an issue with items that, oh, hey, it's urgent that we spend this money. Dog Park, I think, was the last one, and now we have this one. It seems to me like we're doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm wondering, was there something that delayed it and there was just couldn't get to the committee for some reason for discussion?
It's actually been brought up to the committee a numerous amount of times, but it wasn't ever on an actual committee form. My committee was very aware of it, but I didn't actually, we've talked about it.
Okay.
But I haven't had it on an official monthly form. So to have it official in writing, I went ahead and sent an email, and the reason why I sent it immediately was because I just received a letter from Washington, which I included in the packet on May 1st, stating we had till the 18th and we had already had our meeting.
Got it.
Saying that if we didn't spend the money, we would lose it, and I had till the 18th to respond to them.
Okay. How was Kittleson and Associates selected?
How was Kittleson and Associates selected? No.
There's a scoring sheet on the packet as well on how we selected them based on 5 criteria. They received the highest score.
Is that what this is?
I can't read it from here. I'll need to come up and look.
So.
It's right there.
Yes, that's what that is.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Those are notes that we put in as to why we selected them as well. Those are all, in case anybody questions, they're on personal notes. Also, CWCOG and WashDOT have used Kittleson, and they also have used the other one as well. I believe that Kittleson had more, Kittleson is who I desire to have present to the public and to council as far as being able to make a decision that should be fairly easy and straightforward with the media that they're going to be using. Think of a Disneyland amusement park theme ride going on with roller coaster, virtual reality. I think that's the best thing to show to the public.
I agree, they do good work.
Further discussion on action item F? Will the clerk please take the vote?
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza?
Aye.
Action item F has passed. Moving on to action item G, authorize mayor to sign not to exceed contract with RH2 Engineering to update the City of Woodland's water system plan in 2019.
Move to approve?
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Humbert, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Humbert.
I think it pretty much says, just need you to sign it so we can get it going on, so we have water.
Councilmember Chapman.
I have no comment.
Further discussion? Councilmember Fredericks.
Question I have is this going to get us what we need for $120,000, or do we feel that this is going to go over the $120,000 maximum that's set for this project?
I won't know that until after I meet with the Department of Health.
So what if this only gives us half of a...
It won't give us a half.
Okay.
The reason why we're meeting with the Department of Health is because there's certain chapters in our current water system plan that probably don't need to be updated. They just need to be looked at with minimal revisions.
Okay.
But there are certain sections that do need to be revised, and part of the water system plan has a capital projects component and utility rates in it, which is also what we're working with the other consultant on. Thank you very much. So I'm trying to coordinate with both of them, so I'm hoping it'll take part of it out of there. But this was the number that was given to me by two different consultants, one being our engineering company, to budget for this. So I strongly believe that this is going to do what we need it to do.
Okay.
The funds will be available.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything further?
But I make no guarantee on that until after my meeting with the Department of Health.
I
I'm going
just
to
shoot that
say
one across the bow.
Out loud.
I got the asterisk on there.
Thank you.
I got it. Yeah,
Because if
for
they
sure.
tell us we need something, we need to do it.
Right.
Mrs. Ripley, please take the vote on action item G.
Councilmember Humbert?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza?
Yep.
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Moving on to, see what I've done? See what I've done here? It all starts at the top. Action item H, yes, action item H. Letter to Cowlitz County regarding proposed ATV ordinance.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Plaza, seconded by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Plaza.
We discussed this a little bit today in the public safety meeting, and majority of the public safety committee came to the conclusion that we're in line with where you are on this, and so let's just go ahead and get this thing written and sent off to where it needs to go.
Councilmember Chapman.
I concur.
Further discussion.
I'm good.
Will the clerk please take the vote on action item H?
Councilmember Benjamin?
Aye.
Councilmember Plaza?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Humbert?
No.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
All right. Action item H has been approved 5-1. We've come to the portion for adjournment on the agenda.
Move to adjourn?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is 7:49. This doesn't even say anything.
They said every time we waited.
I don't think we're allowed to. I don't think so.
I would have made a motion right after the pledge.
The settlement. I think about this.
Yeah, I would have done it after that.